Welcome back to The Lead Word. This is your host, Trey Dalbert. Along with me, as always, Chad Bauman. Today is Monday, December 7th, 2020. Chad, this week has been a breaking point for you, I'm guessing. So let's not waste any time here. Let's just get it out of the way. I'm just going to hand the keys over to you because as most of you know, Chad is the you can see in the background of his screen, Eagles. Yeah, that. Chad, thoughts after another bad loss?
I mean, I don't know if I would classify it as a bad loss. I don't think anyone knew the Eagles were going to, well, I'm not new. I don't think anyone thought the Eagles were going to have any chance in hell of winning that game. I think it was a loss that everyone was expecting. And I honestly, as much as I've said about this all season, I don't really have too much to add to this point, but I figure I have to talk about it because it's just fucking happened. And I think but like I said, I've said so much on this. There's not much that I can say that's different than anything I've said before. As far as,
you don't sound as angry as I thought you would today.
I've made my peace with this.
You sound like a horse that's been like shot.
Well, I think if the horse was shot, he wouldn't sound like anything.
No, I'm saying like he got shot. He's kind of just laying there like fucking, he's on his last fucking death wish. Just doesn't sound good to me.
I think I am. Like, I don't. Here's the thing. I'm an Eagles fan, first and foremost. I don't care who plays. I don't pay favorites. I just want the best player to play. Whether that's Carson Wentz, whether that's Jalen Hurts, whether that's fucking
Nate Sudfeld,
whether that's trading for Taysom Hill and him being the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't give a fuck. I just want the best player to play.
Nate Sudfeld.
I want the Eagles to win a Super Bowl. What'd you say?
Nate Sudfeld.
Fuck. If it means the Eagles win a Super Bowl, put Nate Sudfeld in. My thing is, and this goes back to the draft. I think this was always the outcome of the second round pick.
Yep.
This is what Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson, this is what they intended from Jump Street. Because you don't take Taysom Hill or a backup quarterback in the second round. You don't do it. I just wish they didn't pay Carson Wentz if they ultimately wanted Jalen Hurts. And they can say that this was never the plan and they believed in Carson Wentz and they can blow smoke up our asses all they want and say all the fucking lies they've been telling us, the Eagles. But at the end of the day, you can see everything you need to see in the way Doug Peterson reacted when they drafted Jalen Hurts. Doug Peterson's reaction when they picked Jalen Hurts at like 53 in, pick number 53 or whatever it was in the second round. That's the same reaction that I had when I was like 10 years old and I got my Xbox for Christmas. Like, there was no difference. The problem is I think Carson Wentz is going to be the better quarterback. I just think the problem is, and I guarantee you, they're going to end up finding a way to move Carson Wentz, and then he's going to ball out with whatever team he's on. He'll probably go on to be like a fucking Super Bowl MVP for San Francisco.
Which is exactly what I was going to say, because I didn't think you were going to talk about it. But I just want to make this very, very, very clear. Make sure we save this recording, because I've had a lot of good sound bites this year. Just remember this one. All those fucking haters out there who are ripping Carson Wentz right now, if he goes to Indianapolis next year, you better be very fucking nervous because he goes and reunites with Frank Reich. they're going to win the AFC South, and they're going to be very good. And Carson Wentz is going to look unbelievable like he did in 2017, because there's a very distinct difference with Philadelphia and the Colts. I don't think either team is all world, but it just goes to show you how many times did Carson Wentz and even Jalen Hurts, how many times did they get sacked yesterday?
Jalen Hurts was in the game for 2 series on offense, and he got sacked 3 times.
So it's not a mobility problem with Carson Wentz. Don't tell me it's he's got bad pocket awareness thing. That ain't it.
By the way, Carson played 3 quarters and he only got sacked 3 times.
So let's not say it's Carson Wentz doesn't know what he's doing thing, or he's got bad pocket awareness, or he's got bad mobility. That ain't it. He goes to Indianapolis. Chad, who's the least sacked quarterback and the least hit quarterback and the least hurried quarterback this year?
Phillip Rivers.
It's Phillip Rivers. And they're winning games.
I said this in the beginning of the season. Indianapolis has one of the best offensive lines in football right now, if not the best.
That's why they're winning football games. He's shot. I guess you used to have him on your fantasy team. You watched Colts games all the time just because you wanted to see if Phillip Rivers was scoring. He's got nothing left. Nothing.
By the way, Phillip Rivers, I'm pretty sure he has more touchdowns after I traded him than he had the entire season before I traded him.
I think he had 1 this week.
Oh, he had 2.
I don't know. Either way,
he had 3 last week.
Regardless, during the entire season, he's been bad. They're in first place right now for one reason.
They're winning despite him.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers isn't getting hit. And Frank Reich's a hell of a play caller, and so is their defensive coordinator. So I just want to put all these haters out there right now. If he goes to Indianapolis, you're going to have to apologize, because he's going to be fucking awesome there.
Oh, by the way, and I've been saying this pretty much all season, Doug Peterson, play call. Again, it's the things you look at when you watch this Eagles team that you can really tell what their thoughts and plans and strategy behind the Jalen Hurts pick and what they've been doing with Carson Wentz. The entire game, up until Wentz got benched, they got him out of the pocket 1 time. In 2 series, they rolled Jalen Hurts out of the pocket like 7 times. So
even then, though, all the play calls were so predictable.
But no, even beyond the predictability of the play call, because we've been talking about that. We've known about that. For what are we in, week 13 now? Or is this week 14 coming up?
Week 13.
Okay. So for 13 weeks in the NFL, we'll say 12 and a half, because Wentz got benched at the end of the 3rd quarter. 12 and a half weeks. I'm pretty sure they rolled Carson out of the pocket maybe 5 times the entire season. They rolled Jalen Hurts out of the pocket 5 times in 2 series. So they had the plays on the playbook. They just chose not to call them when Carson was in the game. Why? When statistically, he's the best quarterback throwing outside of the pocket in the NFL. Why? Why do you call those plays for Jalen Hurts, but not for your $20 million guaranteed quarterback? Somebody explain that to me. I can't find a rational explanation other than they just don't fucking like the guy.
Your team's fucked. Like, totally screwed. We've said this every year too. Where's he getting this money from? How is he paying these guys? Have you seen their books next year?
I know it's bad. I don't know exactly.
They're like 90 million over next year. He keeps rolling money into the future. Eventually the bill's coming up. How many times have we said, how did he pay for that guy? Where's this money coming from? They're screwed.
All of it's going to Alshon Jeffrey, who's played like 5 snaps in the last 3 years.
Isn't that another thing? He can't move. It's bad. He legit can't move.
You know what I thought it was fucking hilarious? Like there was a point where Alshon, I think it was after Hurts came in. There was a point where Alshon Jeffrey was in the game, and they they missed him on a pass, right? That's what it was. Hurts one hopped it on a route to Jeffrey. And then they're like making excuses for Alshon Jeffrey, like, oh, you could just tell he's in a lot of pain and he can't move. He's been hurt for 3 fucking seasons. He's got to get healthy eventually.
I've said this for
don't make
how
excuses.
Long? I've said this for how long? He looks like a deer that got shot. He can't move. He's done. And they're paying him all his money.
You're very violent with your metaphors today. I'm shot. Alshon Jeffrey shot. Everybody's getting a bullet today with Trey.
Last thing I have on this is, like, did people actually watch Jalen Hurts? Do they think that's going to work? And so, I know Philly's like let's bring in Jeff Garcia. Here's Kevin Cobb. And they love all these backup quarterbacks because they haven't seen them or whatever. But did anybody actually watch him? Nobody actually thinks this is going to work, right?
So a couple of things with that I would like to point out. I mean, obviously, he didn't really do that much because he only played 2 series. But if Carson Wentz had that stat line, they would have been ripping him.
Yeah.
5 of 12, 100 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Carson would have been fucking destroyed for that stat line.
Like, did anybody actually watch Jalen Hurts? Because if you think about it, Green Bay didn't game plan for him. Green Bay wasn't expecting him to come into the game. They could have had all these gadgets lined up, and Hurts should have actually succeeded.
Well, to be fair, they might have expected him to come in the game, but they probably didn't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
they were up 20-something, right, when he came into the game?
Right.
So he should have been killing them.
So a couple things too. One other thing with Hurts. What was I going to say after the stat line thing? No, I don't remember.
I don't know, but all I know is, did anybody actually watch him? Because he looks like the guy at Alabama who's not a very elite thrower of the football. He's not an accurate quarterback. He never will be. If anybody actually watched him, you can, like, anybody that knows and watches football can see that over a 16-game season, if he's your starting quarterback every week, you're not going to win a lot of games. You're not going to have an explosive offense. It looks a lot. It kind of looks like he kind of looked like Tebow out there.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say about Hurts. I mean, so obviously, I mean, I talked about the stat line, benefit of the doubt. He got thrown in there cold. It's hard to go in, especially at quarterback, just be handed the keys to the offense and be like, okay, go score. So benefit of the doubt. Yeah, he had a bad stat line. It's whatever. I thought it was very telling. There was a point where they had like a 3rd and 18, right? And they call like a draw play with Miles Sanders.
Yes.
That just tells me they don't trust him to throw the ball.
No.
Because why would you call the draw play on 3rd and 18 and you're down 3 scores?
Because he's not an elite thrower of the football. And he never will be. It reminds me of when Baltimore does this too. Baltimore runs on 3rd and 12 and 3rd and 13 all the time because they know Lamar Jackson's not even an elite thrower of the football. And more often than not, that pass is a bad decision.
Like I said, man, I don't have too much to say here. I've said if you want to know exactly how I feel about this whole fucked up situation with the Eagles, you can listen to any show that we've recorded within the confines of the 2020 year. There's not much to say here. Like I said, I'm an Eagles fan. I just want the fucking team to win.
I will say
I don't think Jalen Hurts gives you the best chance to win. I think if you really want the best chance to win, put a fucking team around Carson Wentz and let him ball.
Well, I think that's obvious.
I think at this point, that's not what they're gonna do. Just fucking move the guy. Trade him to fucking Indianapolis, get his money off the books, take a fuck or give him the fucking pick or whatever you got to do to give him to get him to take the guy and just fucking move on. If you don't want the guy, fucking get rid of him because they clearly don't fucking want him.
I'll say this. I don't think it would matter who your quarterback is right now. Like we can talk about the quarterback all we want. This is the last thing I have on it. If Deshaun Watson was your quarterback right now, you'd still be losing games.
Fucking Joe Montana was our quarterback, we'd still be losing games.
You'd still be losing games. When your quarterback is the most sacked, hit, and pressured quarterback, you're not going to win. And when your wide receivers on top of that fucking suck, you're not going to win any games. And when your play caller is the shit that Doug Peterson's rolling out there, you're not going to win any games. So we can talk about the quarterback all we want. The fact of the matter is it wouldn't matter who it is. You're not winning football games with this team.
And I guess one last thing before we move on. And again, this is something that I've said. And no, I really mean this is the last thing. Okay. Just I need to repeat this and reiterate it for the people that just obviously don't fucking understand. Carson Wentz is the same quarterback he's always been.
Yeah.
Same guy that you had in 2011, 2018, 2019. He's not any more or any less accurate. The problem is everything around him sucks. And if you really look at it, Carson Wentz, everybody talks about, oh, he missed this guy. He overthrew or underthrew this guy. Carson Wentz doesn't miss on any more or any less plays than any other quarterback in the NFL. Whether it's Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, whoever you want to say it is, he doesn't miss any more or any less. The problem is there's nobody around him. Like people like to say, oh, Deshaun Watson's thriving in Houston, but he doesn't have anybody around him. He doesn't have anybody around him. Well, that's true. Deshaun Watson doesn't have a good offensive line, but they have really good receivers. Brandon Cooks is a good receiver. Cooks is a good receiver. Will Fuller's a good receiver.
Will Fuller's suspended right now.
Before he was suspended.
They had no tight end either.
Okay, the Eagles haven't had a tight end all season. Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz went down in the first 2 weeks. Goddard came back 2 weeks ago. Ertz came back this week. They haven't had a tight end all season either. The difference is your best wide receiver is fucking Travis Fulgham, and then Alshon Jeffrey comes back and he can't even see the field. So, and that's another thing. If you like Carson Wentz so much, why did you take the one fucking receiver he could actually throw the fucking ball to and replace him with Alshon Jeffrey, who is a known fucking Wentz hater? We know this.
Yep. Actually, let me ask you this before we move on. Last thing. Of all 32, I guess 1 to 32 starting quarterback or whatever, where's Carson Wentz in your opinion?
I would just this season, just grading this season alone.
No. Like you're starting a franchise today. How many guys do you take ahead of Carson Wentz?
I'd put him at 4 or 5.
Okay.
Watson, Mahomes. Trying to think. Watson, Mahomes for sure.
Russell Wilson, I would.
Russell, yeah, Wilson.
After that, he's like there though.
Right.
At least in my opinion.
I agree. And then, I mean, I don't know if we're talking about guys in their prime either, though. Like
Rodgers.
Yeah,
Rodgers is out of his fucking mind right now.
I would take a 37-year-old Aaron Rodgers to start my franchise with tomorrow.
All right. This is the last thing. Same question. Jalen Hurts. How many guys do you take ahead of Jalen Hurts?
Everyone but Mitch Trubisky.
I pretty much agree. I'm looking through the list right now. I mean, Indianapolis, whoever the quarterback is in Indianapolis, maybe you could argue that one. And Minshew or whatever. Gardner
And
Minshew.
by the way, too, I want everyone to keep the same energy they had with fucking Carson with Jalen Hurts. And I don't want to hear any, he's just a rookie, you got to let him grow shit. No. Fuck that. It's week 13, bitch. He's not a rookie anymore. He's been in the NFL for 13 fucking weeks. He knows the deal.
That's a Racich line. Yeah, that's the other thing. If Hurts stinks, which he will, I don't want to hear it. He's going to, by the way. Because nobody's going to thrive with this.
I'm just saying, at this point, fuck it. Trade Wentz, trade Hurts, trade Ertz, trade fucking everybody.
That rhymed. That was a poem. You could make a fucking poem out of that.
I just trade Fletcher Cox, trade Brandon Graham. I love those guys. Just get fucking rid of them. You might as well just blow this thing up because it's all fucking downhill from here. They have no clue what they're fucking doing.
No.
I said it when they drafted Jalen Hurts. You're either in or you're out. No such thing as halfway crooks. And they're fucking, they don't know what they're not in, they're not out. I'm done. We can move on.
Well, I think I give Philadelphia an F in the draft grades. I think. That was one of the worst drafts I've ever seen. How long did we talk about that?
I gave him a fucking Z. Oh, by the way, could have had Justin Jefferson. And who's the defensive guy? He's like on pace to be rookie of the year. He's a linebacker. I think he went to Ohio State.
Blake Harrison.
Yeah, could have had him in the second round.
I love that guy.
Could have had him in the second round, by the way, but they took a fucking backup quarterback instead.
Yeah, and the Colorado guy who was a project and played safety looks like he's terrible.
Yeah, let's move on before I want to fucking kill someone.
All right. Well, I want to talk about this, Chad, because I don't know if this was directed or I don't know if this is pure stupidity. But what happened with the Jets can't really be explained any other way. Let's walk through this again. There's 15 seconds left. They got to score like a 60-yard touchdown, the Raiders. They're down 5. And Greg Williams dials up cover 0. He doesn't just dial up cover 0. He plays a quarterback spy. he play. Did you watch the play?
Yeah, you tell me Mike Vick wasn't on the field?
He didn't just play cover 0. He had a guy playing QB spy. With 15 seconds left, no timeouts. The only prayer they have is this 60-yard bomb touchdown. And that's exactly what happened. And it's undrafted Lamar Jackson. I don't know if you remember him. He was at the Senior Bowl. He got fucking cooked all week. He didn't get drafted. I watched the Nebraska-Ohio State game. He couldn't cover anybody. You leave that guy one-on-one with one of the fastest players in the league. He predictably gets cooked. And this is the play this is the stat that means everything. I had to look this one up. 252 pass plays in the last 15 years in the final 15 seconds with no timeouts. The Jets this week are the only team to ever blitz 6 guys. Ever in the history of the NFL. This can only be explained one of 2 ways. They were directed to lose the game. Greg Williams is a fucking idiot. There is no other explanation.
Well, they must not have been directed to lose the game because didn't he get fired?
He did get fired.
So obviously, and honestly, it was a boneheaded call by Greg Williams. But
boneheaded. It's one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my entire life. It was almost impossible to lose.
But here's the thing, and I feel like there's got to be, you got to put some of this on the players at some point too, because the call comes in, right? You're in the huddle. You're the middle linebacker. Call comes in. You roll your eyes. You're like, The fuck are they thinking? But you call it anyway. You don't fucking call an audible?
Gase probably should have called a timeout because the play before the almost exact same thing happened, except Nelson Aguilar wasn't quite fast enough to get it. Did you see that one?
I didn't see that one.
The play before, they called the exact same play, and Nelson Aguilar was maybe like a step or two from getting it.
But, like, I'm just saying, like, if you're a player on the field, right? And I mean, obviously it sucks for them. That call comes in. You don't think about calling an audible? You're just like, hey, guys, instead of fucking blitzing, let's play cover 4 here.
It was impossible for them to lose the game. Like, it, literally almost impossible, because even a Hail Mary at that point wouldn't have reached the end zone. Like, they were fucking deep. Ruggs caught the ball and he ran another 15 yards to get in.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say he caught it on like the 15 or 20.
So even a Hail Mary at that point wouldn't have lost you the game. It was almost impossible to lose.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't think. And it's funny when you remember when he was with Cleveland?
Yes.
And they were on Hard Knocks?
Yeah. He's a fucking idiot.
And he was talking about like how he had all kinds of offers, but he chose to go to Cleveland instead. Like, bro, who was fucking offering you head coaching?
Nobody.
Job that you turned down.
Nobody. He'll never get a job again. There's no way.
I mean, unless you're purposely trying to tank.
He's already ran through the Browns and he's ran through the Jets.
Well, I mean, it appears like he's going to like the worst teams. So.
Unless Philadelphia calls, he's got no suitors.
They might. They might. I could see it. They obviously don't know what the fuck they're doing. Or Dallas. Dallas. You can get a job with Dallas.
I just wanted to bring that up. The Jets, it was basically impossible for them to lose that game. Impossible.
You know what would be really funny? You know how like when you're on ESPN and you're looking at like the game feed thing and it gives you like win probability?
Oh, I saw it. It was like 99.9. It was over.
You probably, you know how they have like the tablets on the sideline?
Yeah.
What if he was like on the tablet and he had ESPN up and he was like, oh, win probability 99.9%. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Send the house.
That's the other thing, though. They didn't just play like, wouldn't have been one thing if they really blitzed. What the fuck are you doing with a QB spy? Like, that's the craziest part about it. You didn't just all out blitz. You blitzed with a QB spy. How do you do that?
Well, hey, if you send that 7th guy, you probably get a sack.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they sent the all out blitz, they might have actually gotten it. But they had a QB spy. They couldn't even cover zero blitz correctly.
He's like, Greg Williams is like, oh shit, Derek Carr. He's like, 0-4 Mike Vick back there. We gotta send them. we gotta spy him. Can't let him take off and run 60 yards.
Incredible. I do want to do a little follow up though, because I want to see if your opinions changed on this. A couple weeks ago, I said, can we chill out on the fucking Raiders? Yeah, they played Kansas City twice. They played them tough twice. It's also a division game. People in the division play each other tough. The Denver Broncos gave Kansas City a run for their money too, and they suck. Can we chill out on the fucking Raiders? Because this is last year, they lost to the Jets. This year, I mean, they basically did lose. They didn't lose, but it's almost impossible for them to win that game, except.
Wait, you know, like a moral victory? You know, you get like a moral victory?
Yeah.
This was a moral loss.
Yeah. Like, can we chill out on the fucking Raiders? That's as bad gets. The Jets haven't been in any game any year except they played one game tough against the Patriots, who aren't even that good. Can we chill out on the fucking Raiders?
I mean, I mean, I was never like fucking pole jocking the Raiders or anything. I mean, I think I am where I've been. They have some pieces. I think they're trending up, but they're not world beaters.
They're not trending up. That's the problem. They're not trending up. They're still the fucking Raiders. Outside,
I think they're better than they were last year.
What was their record last year?
I think they were like, well, I don't know. We might have to call Alex. I think they were like 7-9.
That's what I think they are. I think they're 7-9. Except they got a fucking. The only difference is they're gonna get this win against the Jets, and the fucking Chargers absolutely blew a game against them. The Chargers had them beat 7 or 8 times. So, I mean, they've been handed 2 easy wins that they should not have. That Jets game should be an L. And the game they played against the Chargers should definitely be an L. Realistically, they should be 5-7. That's who they are. But we'll wake up here today and say, ooh, 7-5. They're in the playoffs. They're not a fucking playoff team. They're not.
They're a playoff team in the NFC.
Oh, the NFC is a different story. Yeah.
Like I said, my opinion hasn't changed. I think they're not great. I think they could be worse. I mean, this is only 2 years in. We'll see where it goes from here. Next year they could turn into the fucking Eagles.
Where are the good players? Where are the good players that Mike Mayock has acquired? Where are they? Where are they? If we're gonna say the Raiders have turned the corner, the Raiders are moving in the right direction. Where are the good players that he's acquired? Because when I watch the Raiders, I see a solid B level quarterback with Derek Carr. He didn't acquire him. I see a great tight end with Darren Waller. He didn't acquire him either. Where are the players that Mike Mayock has specifically acquired that has led this team in the right direction? I count 3. Max Crosby, Trayvon Mullen, and Hunter Renfrow. 3 guys out of a 53-man roster ain't cutting it.
I'd rather have Hunter Renfrow than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
I'm giving him credit for that one. I'm giving him credit. I will give him credit for 3 guys on the entire roster. That is it.
All I'm saying is it could be worse. You could be fucking Howie Roseman out there. I would take Mike Mayock over Howie Roseman at this point.
You'd almost take anybody over Howie Roseman.
I guarantee Mike Mayock doesn't draft Jalen fucking Hurts in the 2nd round.
Well, he hasn't drafted a quarterback yet, so. But
exactly.
But he did give a lot of money to Marcus Mariota for no reason.
Well, to be fair, he didn't draft the quarterback because he already had Derek Carr on the roster.
Yeah.
At least Mike Mayock.
But he doesn't get credit for that. He doesn't get credit for that.
No, I'm not saying he gets credit for the Derek Carr thing. I'm saying he gets credit for not taking a quarterback in the 2nd round.
Your standards are really low right now.
That's because my standards are what I have fucking sucks. That's why my standards are low.
It's like you've spent the last 6 months fucking a hooker who's fucking cracked up all the time. You're like, hey, my girlfriend's not on drugs.
I am what I am because of Howie Roseman.
Yeah. What do you got next?
We're gonna talk about the Cleveland Titans game. I love Baker Mayfield, but we're not gonna overreact to 4 touchdowns against the Titans. Yeah, the Titans have a good defense. Yeah, Baker played well for the first half, and then they pretty much just let Nick Chubb salt the game away. But that's not going to be what you're getting every week going forward. This Cleveland team, they're good. When they make, I think they're in the playoffs right now if the season were to end. If they make the playoffs, this isn't what you're going to get from Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. So, take this performance with a grain of salt. Cleveland came in. They curb stomped the Titans, but It's not what you're going to get every week going forward.
I agree, and I also disagree. Chad, do you remember what I said week 1 of the NFL season?
No.
Cleveland was playing Baltimore. Let's see if it can spark your memory. What did I say about it?
I have no idea.
Because I think this is true. This Browns team's fucking loaded. Their team's loaded. We can say what we want about the quarterback. I'm not talking about the quarterback. Their team's loaded. I know you've been a hater on this one. You've been a hater on this one. Nick Chubb's fucking good. Nick Chubb's a fucking monster. That guy's unbelievable.
I never said Nick Chubb wasn't good.
You're a hater.
Did I ever say that?
You're a Nick Chubb hater.
I never hated Nick Chubb. I've always said Nick Chubb was good. I just don't think he's better than Saquon Barkley.
He's playing like he's better than everybody right now.
That's only because Saquon's hurt.
He's averaging like 14 yards a carry in the fourth quarter or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, and like half of that is because he ran through the Eagles in the fourth quarter.
He's unbelievable. Cleveland's loaded. I'm just like, there was almost a moment in the game where they got up, like, I think it was 37-10 or something. And the second half, they're like, okay, so we're the Browns. We've never been in this spot. What do we do? They tried their best to let Tennessee come really back into the game because they're the Browns. But this team's loaded. They got guys everywhere. We've said this for how long? This team has sucked for so long. And even when they got good players, it's like, well, we have Hugh Jackson, so we're still going to suck. And we're going to collect more good players. It's gotten to the point where they have so many good players that even an average coach was going to get them to play well. Like, has anybody looked at the Browns roster? And I was pissed because I fucking looked like an idiot after I said Cleveland was going to be pretty good this year. After week 1, they got smoked. They got guys everywhere. They're loaded.
And I think like one of the most telling things about Cleveland is the fact that when you look at their opponents that they've beaten, except for Tennessee, none of the opponents that they're beaten have a good record. They all have losing records, except for Tennessee, which tells me one thing, especially about the roster. Yes, they have a talented roster. That's why they're winning those 6 games that they won against those bad teams. It's purely on their talent. The reason why they've lost to the Ravens twice, and who is the other team they lost to?
Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh was because they got outcoached, not because their players are bad, with the exception of maybe Baker Mayfield.
How many teams in the league have someone like Myles Garrett? That guy's unbelievable.
I think he's averaging like 1 sack per game.
He's insane. How many teams have an offensive line like Cleveland? I think this point should be brought up. Part of the reason why Cleveland is so good is because they've sucked forever, but not just that, they're not paying Baker Mayfield anything right now either. Like during the offseason, we said, why would they make Austin Hooper the highest paid tight end in the league? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And then they're like, well, we're also going to give a shit ton of money to Jack Conklin too. And they buy guys all the time because they're not paying their quarterback anything either. So not only have they sucked forever, they're buying all these free agents. They got guys on top of guys. Their third string tight ends, David Njoku, who was a first round pick. Nobody has that.
And by the way, you might never have to pay Baker Mayfield because he's in like every fucking commercial. He doesn't need an NFL check.
How many teams have a backup running back that's as good as Kareem Hunt? We're underselling this Browns roster. Nobody has a backup running back that's as good as Kareem Hunt. Nobody has a third string tight end that's as good as David Njoku. Nobody.
And you know what's crazy? It's not like it's been one GM either.
No.
It's been like rotating carousel of guys coming in and being the GM. but they've had just such a high volume of picks.
Yeah.
It's hard to miss when you have like 20 picks in the first round every year.
When you pick high every single year, eventually you can't really miss.
But that's the thing. It's not just that they're picking high. It's that they usually have like 2 or 3 first round picks every year.
Well, remember
like
the
they'll
Brock
have
Osweiler thing?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like they'll have their pick, which will be like a top 10 pick. And then they usually also have like a pick in like the 20s too. They have like at least 2 first rounders every year.
I forget which GM it was, but one of them just ate the Osweiler contract for draft picks from Houston. And that second round pick is Nick Chubb. They got Nick Chubb because they ate the Brock Osweiler contract.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I think we're underselling this Browns roster. I'm not saying they're going to, win 2-3 fucking playoff games or whatever, but their roster is ridiculous. I think that needs to be said.
Well, we've been saying for a while now how much talent Cleveland has on their roster. I mean, it's not like we haven't been saying that. It's just they have issues at quarterback and they're not well coached.
I don't think they're terribly coached anymore. I think Stefanski looks clever sometimes.
It's not clever enough, and it's not often enough either.
When you get your running back to run the football the way that he is, it's not because your run designs stink.
Still, I mean, there's a reason why they're getting blown out, with the exception of this Titans game. There's a reason why they're getting blown out by teams with winning records.
And I said this, 2 weeks ago? I don't think Tennessee's any good either.
There's a lot on Baker Mayfield, but I think there's also a lot on the coach. But, I mean, and you could think Tennessee's not that good. They're good defensively, at the very least.
I don't think they are. Who do they have? Clowney out for the year. Vic Beasley cut. Jeffrey Simmons did not play. Who do they have? Jayon Brown. I think he's their best linebacker. ACL done.
Well, they have Vrabel.
Malcolm Butler. Yee.
They have Mike Vrabel. Still a good scheme.
I like Mike Vrabel. I don't think they're great defensively. Roster-wise.
Well, statistically, they're good. I think they're definitely top 10 in defensive stats.
You have anything else here?
No.
All right, I got one more thing. I don't even remember what I was going to talk about. Oh.
Giants.
Yep. NFC East has been a train wreck. And for those who want to go back and watch our, division preview show, we kind of struggled with who to pick because we kind of knew everybody was going to be bad. I don't think that was a secret with any of us.
Not me.
Yeah.
I said the Cowboys. Well, I said the Cowboys, but I think if Dak didn't get hurt, they'd probably be winning the division.
Maybe.
Despite Mike McCarthy.
Maybe. They weren't winning games with Dak either, though.
I think until Dak went down, they technically had the lead in the division.
Well, one of those wins was that Falcons win when Atlanta was fucking terrible with Dan Quinn.
So that doesn't count.
But I guess my point is, I think I changed my opinion like 2 or 3 times on who was going to win the division just because I didn't feel good about anybody. And I think it's important to go over this. The New York Giants are not a good football team. But they do kind of remind me of Miami of last year. They don't have really a ton of talent.
They're scrappy.
They're the only team in the division who has a head coach who's accountable. That's it. That's the bottom line. I want to apologize to Joe Judge, mostly because I didn't know who the fuck he was. But I got to say this, like, I can't grade coaches because, like, I wasn't in the interview room with Joe Judge. He's a special teams coach. I didn't really know anything about him. And I apologize for saying that, wow, how do you hire a special teams guy? He's the only coach in the division that holds his players accountable. He's the only one. Doug Peterson's a fucking joke. Ron Rivera is a liar. He lies all the time. Who's the other team? Mike McCarthy. Come on. Joe Judge is the only head coach. He's like, oh, Golden Tate's throwing a fit. Fuck this guy. I don't want him here. He's the only coach. He's like, oh, we're not working hard in practice enough. There was a story he's making his guys run sprints or whatever. Good. He's the only fucking guy that has a set of nuts in the whole division. That's why they're in first place. That is the only reason. I don't want to hear it's because, oh, their defense is playing well. Yeah, because they care. Here's a great stat. And I loved Leonard Williams coming out of the draft. I totally gave up on him. I was like, wow, I fucking missed here. This guy stinks. He was like one of my favorite players in that draft. In fact, I might have taken him with the first pick. That's how much I liked him. That was the same draft as Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. I might have taken Leonard Williams first because I liked him that much. He was not good with the Jets. He's got more sacks this year with the Giants than he did in 4 years with the Jets. Now, he can't be blocked with the Giants. He's unbelievable. I don't know how much of the game you watch, but he's all over the place. He's a train wreck. He kills everybody. We have to remember that these guys are humans. Not everybody can walk in the door and thrive under chaos. And that's what the Jets are.
I was going to say, like, to be fair, if you played for the Jets, how hard would you try?
That's what I'm saying. We have to remember that these are humans. These are humans. I can say from personal experience, my college head coach, I did not like him. Did I give 100% effort all the time? Fuck no. If I had somebody that I liked as my head coach, probably would have been a different story. This happens all the time. All the time. Leonard Williams I think he had 1.5 sacks in 4 years with the Jets. He couldn't play. I totally gave up on him. I was like, wow, I'm an idiot. How the fuck did I think this guy was good? He's playing with the Giants right now. He can't be blocked. He's like their best guy. The Giants are in first place for one reason. Joe Judge doesn't take shit. People respect that guy.
We can give Howie Roseman some credit for their first place too, I think.
Yeah.
How we deserve some credit too. And Mike McCarthy. He deserves some credit.
I'm just saying I should have seen it coming. I should have seen this coming. That it wasn't going to be the Eagles, that it wasn't going to be the Cowboys.
I don't think we should have seen it coming that it was going to be the Giants, though.
He's the only coach in the division that is buttoned up and put together. He's the only one. Ron Rivera is a fucking liar. That guy trots out Dwayne Haskins, says he's his guy, says he's going to start him, pulls him off a good week against Baltimore, throws in Kyle Allen, puts in Kyle Allen, benches him for Alex Smith, puts Kyle Allen back in. Kyle Allen gets hurt, puts back in Alex Smith. He's a fucking liar. That guy's the worst. He's been a train wreck there. The only wins they have, I think, are against Dallas. They swept Dallas, I think.
The Eagles.
Yeah, I think those are the only wins they have. So, Joe Judge, that guy, hats off to that guy. They started, 0-5? It reminds me a lot of the Dolphins. They don't have much talent, but every week they get better. They just keep getting better because more and more guys are buying in.
Must be nice.
You played the Giants twice this year.
We haven't played them a second. We played them I think 2 weeks from now.
I thought you did. I thought we played the Giants twice.
Oh, yeah, they did.
There was a difference between
they're so bad, it's all fucking melts together at this point. I don't even fucking know.
The Giants are getting better every single week. That's the sign of a good football team or a good, well-coached football team.
By the way, they should have won both games against the Eagles, by the way. If Eric Ebron doesn't drop a pass, you're right. Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
If Evan Ingram doesn't drop a pass in the first game, they win it. So
the Giants are getting better every week. Every single week they look better. They started out 0-5. After they played the Eagles the first time, they were 1-6. They keep winning now. They lost to Tampa by 2. They beat the Redskins. Then they beat the Eagles by 10. They kind of barely beat Cincinnati, but whatever. They were great against Seattle. They didn't just beat Seattle. I think they outplayed them the entire game. And that's a Seattle team looking for a first-round bye.
I agree. I think I don't have much to do. I can't disagree with anything. The fucking Eagles suck.
The New York Giants have found their head coach.
Yes. Now, I think you're absolutely correct. I think Mike McCarthy is just a fucking terrible coach. There's not much to say there. Doug Peterson thinks he's the smartest guy in the fucking room when he's not. He's smart, but he's not the smartest guy in the room.
I don't think
and it fucking bites him. No, I mean, I think sometimes, like there are some times where Doug Peterson makes a play call or there's a play that they draw up and I'm like, damn, that's a really good play or that's a really good play call. But then it goes to Doug's fucking head and it's like, Doug, what the fuck are you doing? Just be fucking normal for once. Like fucking read options on every fucking third down. Like literally, it'll be like 3rd and fucking 10 and Doug calls a read option. That gets blown up in the background or backfield because everybody knows it's being fucking called.
I love his screen passes. His screen passes never work.
Well, the one screen pass against the fucking Giants, I think, or it might have been against Seattle. Whatever, it was against Seattle.
What was the one that went for a pick 6?
I don't know. I know there was the one against Seattle where the fucking offensive line is like 10 yards downfield, but there's nobody to catch the screen. It was, and then Carson got sacked because there's like 5 guys came free on the rush. So Doug thinks he's the smartest guy in the room and he's not. And then fucking, I don't know what's going on in Washington. So
before we close it out, can we just light a candle or something for Anthony Lynn?
That guy. talk about being like living on borrowed time. Anthony Lynn should have been fired like 2 years ago.
How do you lose to this Patriots team 45-0?
I don't know. Unless you're like the Jets, how do you not score at least the field goal?
Well, their field goal did miss 2. Or their kicker missed 2, I should say.
I get that. But my point is, we've been talking about kicking issues with the fucking Chargers ever since he took over.
Want to hear the craziest stat in the whole game?
No. Wait, before you get to that, want to hear the craziest fucking thing about the Chargers? They had Young Hoku, who he couldn't kick a fucking 1-yard field goal to save his fucking life, and he doesn't miss with the fucking Falcons. What does that tell you about the Chargers?
I was actually going to say, do you want to hear a crazy stat? Young Hoku is the highest scoring fantasy kicker in the league. Nobody has more fantasy points.
You literally could not pay him to make a field goal when they were San Diego or Los Angeles. Now all of a sudden the guy doesn't fucking miss.
Another great stat. The Chargers lost 45-0, and Cam Newton had 69 yards passing.
It's insane.
How do you lose 45-0 against the quarterback with 69 yards passing?
I mean, to be fair, he didn't really have to throw the ball either. So
that's complete and utter ineptitude. So whatever we got to do for Anthony Lynn, like Viking funeral, light up a candle, dig a grave, cut down some trees. I don't know what we got to do, but something's got to be done for that guy.
We connect him with, get him in touch with Jackson. He could guest appear in the next Assassin's Creed episode.
Just Photoshop his face on something. Oh my God.
Yeah. The next, every time Jackson kills somebody in Assassin's Creed, just like Photoshop his face into the video.
I got to shout out. Who's that one guy that fucking commented on one of my articles? Who's this one? Here we go. San Diego Pete, you dumb fuck. This is what one of the guys wrote on one of my articles. Were you going to explain why a former running back coach can't be an effective head coach, or just state it as fact and not explain why? How's 45-0? There's your explanation. You dumb fucks. San Diego Pete. All right, that's all.
Okay. All right. Well, since that about does it, what do we got here? Don't forget to follow the site, Vendetta_media on Twitter. Check Trey out at Trey Daubert, TreyDaubert. Look me up on Twitter at Lilfooted, LILFOOTED. If you're watching the video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and then give the video a like as well. You can check out our Patreon, where we are asking you to give us money, and in return, we'll do stuff. I don't know what the tiers are. Yeah. Thanks for giving us a listen, and we'll see you next week.